What's up, Internet? My name is Michael Cook, this is Blue Giant Media, and we're here to connect through gaming. Today we've got Scythe, the legendary box, and all the expansions except Rise of Fenris, so no spoilers. And I'm going to show you first how I got everything packed in the box currently, and I'm going to unpack it, I'm going to set it up in real time so you can get a feel for what kind of a beast this is to set up, as well as maybe follow along if it's your first time setting the game up. Then we're going to go through some rounds of play so you can get a feel for the rules overview and the overall flow of the game. So let's ready, set, play. Alright, so the Scythe Legendary Box is exactly twice the size of the original box. So you can see, for comparison's sake, if I stack both of these, boom, exactly the same size. So we'll go ahead and remove these. And let's go ahead and start unpacking this thing. So you can see right here I've got airships, Invaders from Afar expansion, the character minis and the mechs. The original mechs and characters I got tucked down that side little channel there. Here I have a Plano. I've got everything in here, all the premium components and the original components as well. And then I don't have anything from Rise of Fenris in here, but I'm assuming that they're going to end up taking up a little bit of space as well. Hopefully I won't need to kind of condense things too much there, but we will see. There's 3 tucked boxes. This one I just have some of the cardboard coins in, nothing really of use. Then these 2 are where I've got pretty much everything else. So one of them has all of my wooden bits for each player, as well as all of the different cards, other than these combat cards here and the Automa cards, which are in there. And then all the battle dials. So I'll go ahead and set this down for the moment, and we will go ahead and grab the wooden tokens out of there when the time comes. And then this one right here has all of the different cardboard components, all of these different mats here. And I'm going to go ahead and, normally these are chosen randomly, I'm going to kind of choose to semi-deliberately, just so that they're close together so I can try and get to a combat relatively quickly and get to the factory relatively quickly. So hopefully that will allow us to get to do some of those things quicker so that this playthrough doesn't take forever to show us, you know, kind of everything that's in the game. Alright, so then each player is also going to get one of these mats here, which these are different because some of them are going to have the actions in different places. Like here you see there's a spot here to get, where you, as you get workers, you take them off the space, revealing the cost here. That's all the way on the right side on this board, whereas here it's all the way on the left side. The bottoms are always in the same place, but the tops are all in different places with the different character boards. So different things match up differently. Okay, set that aside along with the rest of the faction mats. And now let's grab all of the rule books out of here. I did some of that just a little bit out of order, mostly just because I want to be able to set this down once and for all. So I'm going to grab, also while I'm at it, the tokens and the combat dials, although I don't have the combat dial that matches the purple one because that is from the Invaders from Afar, and I don't have the extra combat dial that's paired with it. Let's go ahead and get the board out. Let's set this over here. Now the board, you'll see on one side has these bigger hexes compared to the other side, which has smaller hexes. That's because there is a board extension that you can get that will turn this into a big old massive board. Oops. So the board extension is another whole section, so it makes it so it's 3 of these sections by 3 of these sections, as opposed to this side, the complete side, the base side, which doesn't have quite as much room for maybe a 7-player game to fit all the minis and components and everything on the board, but it's just fine for our purposes right now. All right, so now these right here are part of the Wind Gambit expansion, and set these. I'll go and flip these around for you. So each of these is an aggressive and passive ability for the airships, what they're actually going to be able to do. So we'll go ahead and choose, I really want to choose one that has more movement. So I will grab that one, and all right. I like these that sometimes, so let me explain what is on each of these. So right here, the aggressive one gives an aggressive ability. This is Bounty. It says before engaging in combat in your airship's territory, you can pay 1, 2, or 3 resources from your airship to move 1, 2, or 3 of your units from anywhere to here. So you can let your mechs or characters jump across the board by paying resources out of your airship if the combat is taking place on the space where your airship is. Now this one says Safe Haven. If your airship's territory is unoccupied by opponents, you control the territory, and your units may retreat here from anywhere. Wow, that's pretty cool. And now you also see, I said this tells you that the airship can carry 3 resources, and this tells you that the airship can move 3 spaces whenever it's activated. So we'll go ahead and set those here. And then these are the resolution tiles. These can be chosen to, you can choose to play with these with or without the airship, the invaders, the counters, or any of the other expansions. These give different ways to end the game other than what normally happens, which is getting 6 stars up here. You get stars for doing pretty different things. This one says the first player to have 5 or 6 stars on the triumph track during their turn will get 5 money to complete their turn. Continue playing until each player has 2 more turns. So now the game may end with someone just having 5. And there's, oh, and also it says at the end of the turn, the factory explodes, forcing all units except airships on the factory and on each of the 6 adjacent territories to retreat to their home base. Resources, tokens, and structures remain. In Memoriam, each player gains 1 popularity for each of their retreating units. You cannot gain popularity a star for this. So, interesting, you kind of want some of your maybe characters and mechs to be over here and die, but you don't want to lose the resources. You will also lose control, but you gain popularity, so you can possibly jump up there. Pretty interesting. Alright, now let's go ahead and grab all of the other stuff that goes with these guys, so we can get all the mechs and minis off the board. So we're going to grab the red mechs and the red hero mini, or character mini. We're going to grab the purple character mini and mechs. Then get this out of the way. And we will grab the purple and the red airships. Now, for where we put these things. We're going to put the airships each on a stand. They start in the home base. The characters also start in their home base. Now we're going to kind of make some space here. We don't need the Automa cards. Although I will say real quick as an aside, if you do want to play this solo, the Automa is really well done. It's fun to play against. The movement can be sometimes tricky. There's a really well done app that I can't recommend enough called Scythe. And what it has is you can kind of, well, first of all, you can have multiple decks within that same app, so rather than having a deck for each, you can play Automas for as many of them as you want. You have to pay an in-app purchase. But you can play multiple ones, and all you do is you have the deck, you draw a new card, and after you resolve it, you swipe to the next faction. Draw a card, and resolve it. Swipe to the next faction. And whenever you do open a card, then you can hit a button and it shows the map. And the map you've entered in where everybody is, and then on the top it shows the different movement options. You tap the first one, and it shows you whether that's a possibility. It'll make them blink, like move this one here, and you go, okay, bing, bing, and then that's it. All you have to do is go back to the card and fulfill the middle part, which tells you what the automa gets. So definitely recommend that. All right, so each of these characters is going to get a whole bunch of these tokens and the minis, the mechs. So the mechs are going to go on top of these circles on their board, which each one shows an ability that will get unlocked for your mechs and characters whenever they are built. If you build all 4 of them, you can get a star for that. Then you can, so I'll do the same over here, and these give different abilities that oftentimes have to do with moving, like being able to river walk, to walk across the water, which you can't do normally. This one lets you move between villages and the factory. This one right here. In combat, you can have at least one, if you have at least one worker, you can play a extra combat card. So, and then speed, make your movements 1 additional hex for your mechs and your character. Over here, this one, you can move across rivers any way you want, but only 1 character a turn. 1 character or mech. This one right here, when you can move to or from lakes in combat. In combat on a lake, you can play one extra combat card. This one says before combat, where you have exactly 1 unit, you gain 2 extra attack. And this one says you can move to a territory where you have traps, because each faction also has a special ability. This one right here has these tokens for traps. So whenever I move my character, I can choose to drop one of these traps. This one makes them lose coins, lose popularity, lose power, lose combat cards. So you just go ahead and put it face down. If an opponent steps on that, it triggers. If I have this ability, I can be all the way over here, and I can move as if I'm adjacent to any space where I've got a trap and rearm it. So, also a movement ability. So go ahead and set that there. Now, let's go ahead and grab the stars. So stars are just one way that you can score points, and they are the primary way that the end of the game will be triggered. You can earn stars, I mentioned, for having 4 mechs. You can also earn stars for getting all 4 of your buildings out. The buildings do different things. They cost wood to build off of a bottom action. The monument gains you, makes it so every time you take the action that it uncovers, you're going to get 1 extra popularity. The mine allows you to move between the space where you have the mine and a tunnel, but your opponents can't go from a tunnel to your mine. So it's a way to kind of get out of your home area. The armory, once it's built, it will, every time you take the action corresponding to it, you will gain 1 combat power. And the windmill, whenever you produce, it counts as 1 worker or, essentially worker, to be able to activate an area to produce extra on that space. All right, then these right here, these little, I'll get to them. Workers, you're going to go ahead and put 6 of your workers on the little track here. The remaining 2 you will go ahead and put adjacent to your home base. You're going to take all 6 of these, getting all 8 workers out will get you a star. Getting all 4 buildings out will earn you a star. Getting all 6 of these upgrade tokens down will also earn you a star. So they start up on the top, covering up some of the things that you can do. As you upgrade, you uncover things from the top to make your top actions better, and you cover up things on the bottom, making it less expensive to do the actions on the bottom. So, very nice. And now you will then, your pawn you can set aside. When you take actions, you're not supposed to be able to take the same action 2 turns in a row. You'd have to do one, then the other, then you can come back to it. This character faction's special power is they can keep doing the same one, back to back to back. So that's pretty nice. And here, the Rusviets, it says start with 3 military power. They start with 2 combat cards, which we'll grab right here. And then you go over to their character mat, and it says they start with 2 objective cards. These objectives are different things that you can do throughout the game to earn a star. So this one, for instance, says control at least 3 tunnels at the end of your turn. This one says control the factory at the end of your turn and have the highest power of any player. So you're going to get 2 of these. Of those 2, you can only complete 1. When you do complete 1, that's a star. And then the other one is superfluous, unless sometimes there's other things that can interact with them. All right. I'll set these aside for the moment while they finish. Then this one right here says that I get 2 popularity. And popularity is really, really, really important. It also says I get 5 coins. So while I'm setting up the other character, I will explain popularity. So popularity determines basically how many points you're going to get for the different things that score points. In other words, you're going to score points for how many stars you have, how many areas you control, how many resources you have. Every set of 2 resources is worth points. But the number of points that they are worth varies based off of how much popularity you have. If you've won a whole bunch of battles and you've got a whole bunch of things, you've conquered a whole bunch of land, you've done all kinds of stuff, but everybody hates you, then you're not going to win, because you win at the end of the game by having the most coins, and this shows your conversion of stars, territory control, and resources into coins. So you want to have, if you have up to 6 popularity, you're only going to get 3 points per star. Whereas if you have 13 popularity, you're going to get 5 points per star. So that's a pretty good size difference. So popularity, very, very important. The one thing that I did not mention over here is the enlist bonus. So the enlist bonus is what the little cylinders here are. They go in these spaces here. If you take the enlist action, you're going to be able to take one of these off of one of these spaces and cover up one of these 4 spots here, giving you either immediately 2 power, 2 coins, 2 popularity, or 2 combat cards. It will also then make it so whenever you or a neighbor on either side take the action from that column, you will get the bonus that you uncovered. So I could uncover this, and now anytime me or either of my neighbors, in this case I only have 1, so it can only happen once, when I or either one of my neighbors take the build action, then I will get 1 popularity. Alright, so, and you can get different ways you get stars, getting all 6 of your cubes moved down from upgrades, all 4 mechs built, all 4 buildings built, all 4 enlist bonuses, all 8 of your workers out, complete 1 objective, win a combat, win a second combat, get your popularity up to 18, and your combat up to 16. Those are the ways you can get stars. All right, now we are going to put these out. Okay. Let's see here. Got a couple more. Some of the things that to be aware of also is the factory here. So the factory cards are gotten, that's these right here, they are gotten by getting your character to the factory. Where does this last one go? Why can I not see it? There we go. If you get your character to the factory, which one of the nice things about the red character is, if they have this mech built, they can move between any village that they control and the factory. So they can go from here, pew, right back to the factory, and from the factory right back to a village that they control. That's pretty cool. And the cool thing about the factory is you get there and you get first pick of the factory cards. There's going to be the number of players plus 1 here, and these factory cards do things like pay a combat card to gain any upgrade, 1 combat power, and move one of your workers, characters, mechs 2 spaces, or 1 more space for your airship. That is really huge because normally when you do move, you can only move 1 space. The other thing that's really huge is normally if you're not the Rusviet faction, you don't have the ability of moving back-to-back turns. Now, this character could take this action to move, then jump over here and move, jump over here and move, jump over here and move. So, getting to the factory, pretty nice. Okay, these tokens that I was putting out, that is for encounters. Encounters, when you visit one of them, when you get one of those, you end your turn on there as a with your character. Then you get to draw one of these, and it's going to give you 3 different choices of things that you can do. Oftentimes it's get one decent thing for free, turn in one thing to get another, or sacrifice something to get a lot of something. You know, it's usually something along those lines. Last thing that you will do here is we're going to turn one of these over. These are coins that you can be awarded, which coins are points, at the end of the game for where your buildings are. So if your building is next to, it's the number of lakes next to your structures. So if you build one here, you have 2 lakes next to it. You can't build one here and count this lake twice though. So at the end of the game, if you got 4 buildings next to 6 or 7 lakes, different lakes total, you're gonna get 9 coins. So that's particularly hard because you're gonna have to move all over the board to get those out. Okay, so now, oh, that's a good spot right there. You can get 3 of them. Boom, right like that. To be aware of that. Okay, so now we are ready to go. Not quite, because this character, I have not given them their starting stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna get 2 combat cards. They're gonna get no combat power. They're going to get 6 coins, 3 popularity, and 2 objective cards. Alright, so let's go ahead and get ready for the first turn. I'm going to look at my objective cards to see if it guides me a little bit. Let's see, I can have at least 5 workers on a territory adjacent to the factory at the end of the turn. Interesting. Get rich or cry trying. Have at least 20 money at the end of your turn. That could be interesting, especially, well, none of my actions here really give me a lot of coins, so we'll see. Alright, what else am I good at here? Particularly good at making mechs and upgrades, looks like. So I want to be able to do both those things. I think I want to start by getting that though. So I'm going to move first. So I will put my pawn on the move spot. I'm going to move 1 and 2 moves, which is the basic ability for move. Then I can go down and look at the bottom. I do not have any wood to be able to build a building. So that turn is done. Then we can come over here. Right here, we want, let's see. Let's look and see what objectives we have here. Control at least 3 farms, control at least 9 tokens of the same resource. So getting a lot of one resource. What else am I good at here? Well, in my area, I can get my people pretty quick, and I'm not too bad at that. So I think I'm going to move also, just try and position some of my things. I'm going to, well, I'm going to take a different tact. I'm going to move him there, and I'm going to move him there. I'm going to get a bunch of workers, and then I'm going to move over, then I'm going to move them over here and get a whole bunch of oil, and then I'm going to move over here and build a whole bunch of, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Okay, now we're going to jump over here. This player is now going to produce. So I get to choose 2 territories that I control with workers and produce on them. So when you produce that resource, 1 for every worker that's there. So I will get 1 oil, and then over here I get 1 more worker. And then I do not have food, can't do the bottom action. We'll go over here, and now we are going to produce. So we will just get 2 more people. Now the thing that you have to be careful of with the people is the more you get out there, the more expensive it costs to produce. So you have to balance that. Then I'm going to come over here, and we're going to move again. And let's see. Why don't we move? I'm going to move him here so that I can get that encounter. And then I am going to Do I want to move one of those, or do I want to get more workers? I think I want to get more workers, kind of. If your airship's territory is unoccupied by opponents, you control the territory, and your units may retreat here from anywhere. Alright, I don't expect to be, or want to plan necessarily for losing a battle this early in the game, so I don't necessarily need to position myself for where to retreat yet. But all the same, I'm still just going to... I don't want to move them because I want to be able to use both of those on producing next time. So I'll just bring my airship out here because it gets to move 3 spaces. Alright, now I get the first encounter of the game. I can arm wrestle a brute at the local tavern. I will gain 2 power and 1 popularity. I can buy everyone a round of drinks, pay 2 money to get 3 popularity. I can start a fight and sneak away with the keys to the tavern, pay 2 popularity to build 1 structure. That is interesting. Let's see, what are my objectives again? I want to have a lot of money. I want to have at least 5 workers on a territory adjacent to the factory. That's probably not going to happen. I think I want to build... Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and build. I'm going to pay 2 popularity. 1, 2. And I'm going to build a building. And I want to build it next to a lake, if possible. Unfortunately, this doesn't control a territory. So this isn't super efficient, but it's nice to be able to get it done early in the game. Okay. Now over here, we're going to move, and I'm going to move here and here to try and start positioning myself for getting some oil soon. Well, actually, do I want to do that? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And now we're going to get an encounter over here. Alright, I can gain 3 oil, placing them on this card. Once per move action, you may pay 1 oil from this card to move any unit 1 additional territory. Interesting. I can skip my next turn to gain 8 food now. That's very interesting. I can discard any number of combat cards to gain an equal number of combat cards plus 1. Well, let's see what combat cards I have. A 2 and a 4. So there's 16 2s, 12 3s, 8 4s, and 6 5s. Skipping the next turn to gain 8 food now. This early in the game, I think getting 8 food, especially where I am now, is it's worth it, I think. Because there's no way that I'd be able to get anywhere near 8 food in a turn. I think the payoff is there. So the next time, every time I move for a couple times, I'm going to be able to get an enlist bonus. So, bunch of food. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. And now I just moved. Oh, but the encounter happens at the end of the turn, though. So, I'm not going to be able to do that enlist bonus this turn. Okay, then I want to produce. I'm going to get 2 more workers there, and 1 more oil here. Then this player is skipping their turn. So I come back over here, and now I want to move. I'm going to move 2 over here. Yep. Okay, I think this will work out just fine. Well, if it doesn't, we'll see. Now, this character, we want to move everybody over here now. But we do want to produce as well. So let's go ahead and produce. So we're going to get 3 more workers and 1 oil. So we only need 1 more worker to get the star, but now we can produce without having to pay the coin, which I think it's worse to have the popularity loss and the coin lost personally, but let's just see. Okay, so we don't have enough to be able to upgrade yet. Now we come back over here, and we are going to trade. So we're going to pay a coin, and I want 1 oil. One oil, and I'm just going to get 2 oil. Then I'm going to spend that oil, 3 oil, and I'm going to move one of these down. So I'm going to do the move action so that I can make it cheaper to upgrade. Aha, oh, that's the wrong character. I paid 3 oil, and I'm going to do this. And is that what I still want to do now? I think I want to do that. No. I'll do this. Okay. And when I upgrade, I'm not going to get any coins. Alright, now I'm going to go over here, and we're going to start doing this movement. We're going to move 2 over here, and we're going to pay 3 food to get an enlist bonus. So what do we want to get? We're seeing over here, seeing me position on oil and metal, so we probably want to do one of these 2. And let's see, what were our objectives again? Do they involve 9 of the same resource token at the end of a turn? Oh wait. Oh, I had 8 food. Then in that case, instead of doing that, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to pay a coin to get 1 more food and 1... let's go wood. Okay, now we have 9 of those. So we can go ahead and monopolize the market. We reveal an objective card, and that gives us the first star of the game. Okay. And I can't do the bottom. Now we'll come over here, and we're going to, let's see, we need, we can't produce again because we don't have any military power. At the same time, I kind of want to be more efficient. I don't want to go here and not be able to build, so I'm going to go and move. So I'm going to reposition people again. I'm going to go 1, 2, and I have 1 additional movement now. So I'm actually going to send this guy over there. Okay, and over here. Now we can do the movement. So we're going to move 2. We're going to spend the 3 food. We anticipate many upgrades happening, so we're going to go ahead and do this one, and we're going to set it over here and take, let's go ahead and take 2 popularity. 1, 2. Okay, now we're going to come over here. We are going to pay a coin again to get another oil and 1 metal. No, dang it, this is not working out quite the way I want it to. Then we're going to pay the 2 oil to bump this down. So we did an upgrade, which this player benefits from. Okay, now this player is going to move again. gonna move a couple more people over here, pay another 3 food to get their enlist bonus up, and they're going to take 2 coins. Then over here, oh, and they get a coin. They should have gotten a coin the previous time I enlisted and this time. Over here, now, again, I could go here, but I only have 1 steel, so I'm going to move again. Now I am going to go 1, and I'm just going to put 2, 3. I'm going to get a whole bunch of metal the next time I go there. Alright, now I'm going to, you know what, I'm just going to move again. But this time I'm going to send them there. And I will pay 3 food again. Since I'm doing the enlist action, I will now get a combat card. And I will enlist over here to get a coin, and I'm going to get 2 combat power. 1, 2. And another coin from the bottom of the board. Okay, now I'm going to go over here. Again, I'm going to pay a coin to get 2 oil. I'm then going to spend that oil right away to do another upgrade. And this time I'm going to move. Let's see. Let's go ahead and move. Let's move this one down here. Awesome. This is going to work out very nicely, I think. All right. Then we'll come over here, and now this guy is going to produce. So he's got to pay 1 popularity, 1 power, and going to produce on 2 territories. So I will get 2 metal here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oil there. I will then be immediately spending 3, so I'm just going to take 2, to do an upgrade. So now I will upgrade. Which one do I want to do? Let's do... Let's do bolster. And let's go ahead and make it easier to build, because I want at least one of these 2 characters to do some building. Okay. Now, this character is finally going to go over here. They're going to pay 1 coin. So pay 1 coin, make some change. I will gain 3 military power. 1, 2, 3. I get to gain, oh, this person did an upgrade. I will get to gain 1 heart. Then I can pay only 1 to get the first mech. So now I can do a lot of different things. I'm going to go ahead and do I want to set that up? Probably not. I will go ahead and set that one up. Okay, put that there. Okay, and I get 2 coins for doing that. This character also gets a coin for me doing that. Then we'll come over here. We are going to produce again. All right, so we'll get another 2 iron and another 5 oil, of which we will immediately spend 3. So take another 2. Then I'm going to upgrade. Let's go ahead and say that right there. And we will get 2 coins. I'm going to go ahead and make some up there. And we will also get a military power. Now we'll come over here, and I want to do some movement now. So I can move 3 things. I'm going to move this one here, and I'm going to drop my first trap. Is that the one I want to do? Let's go ahead and drop it there. I want to drop one on there too, though. Okay, and I have 2 more movement. I don't really need that much of this anymore, so I'm going to start moving over here to get some wood next. Okay. Now I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to pay a coin to bolster. That'll give me 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to pay 1 wood to build my first building. And I'm going to build a mine. I'm going to build it there so it's at least adjacent to 1 lake. Okay. Then we'll come over here and I want to produce. So I will pay 1 combat power and I'm going to get 1, 2, 3 metal and 2 wood. Whoa. Okay, and I can't afford to do the enlist. Come over here, and now we are going to move. Now there's so many things we could do, but we're going to go ahead and move. We want to make some progress towards here if we can, so we're going to move here. Here. Actually, I want to build here is what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to go ahead and move. I can only move 1 of those though, because I only have 2 moves. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do. Okay, then we will come over here. Now I get to move again. I'm going to move here, and now I'm going to make it hurt. I'm going to, let's see, which trap do I want to put there? That's not going to hurt him that much, but this one will. Okay. Now this character, we can go ahead and move again. So move here, move there. We still can't pay. And this character finished on the factory. So let's see. I think we'll go ahead and take this one. Now we'll go ahead and place this here. Now we have the ability to jump over here. Alright, so at this point we have seen mechs being built, we have seen buildings being built, we have seen enlistments, we've seen upgrades, we've seen movement, we've seen trade, we've seen bolstering. The only thing we haven't really, we've seen the factory be approached, we have seen encounters, we have seen a star go on the board, although only 1 so far. We are quite close to another one here, but we have not seen combat. So I want this character to start getting some of that combat up. So what we are going to do is pay 1 coin to bolster, get 3 combat. 1, 2, 3. Gets us near the max. But more importantly, we are going to pay 1 metal to get another. Let's see, well, you have exactly 1 unit. Ah, that's not very good. Move to and from lakes. In combat on a lake, you may play. Move. Let's go ahead and be able to move across. And we're going to put him right. Oh, darn. That makes a big difference. I was hoping I could put them there, but I just realized that you can't. You have to put them, and I violated that before with this one. So this one should be here. You can only place a mech on a space where there is workers. You can't place them on the other spaces. I was hoping to place them there so that I would have 2. We will just have to likely lose this combat, but that's okay because we have a trap here which will affect them, and we will be able to jump right back to that trap the very next turn. So that's pretty good. Actually, very interesting. So, after moving, move to any territory with a trap token. Very interesting. Anyway, now let's go ahead and see what this character wants to do. I think they're going to move again. Oh, man, that's rough though. We could build a mech. Gets very interesting here. What I need is wood really badly though. So I think I'm going to go ahead and trade. I will pay a coin to get some wood. I'm going to go ahead and put it over here, where I think it's safe. Foolishly. Then I'm going to make a mech. And +1 hex per movement, that's nice. Move from the village to the factory. Move across rivers. Let's go ahead and do the move from the village to the factory. Nah, that's not really worth it. Let's just go for extra movement. So we'll go like that. Alright. Now over here, we're sitting there going, oh, crap. Well, I could be the aggressor and just go after them. I would not be able to place the trap there though. But I can go ahead and do this movement, and I don't quite have enough wood there, do I? I'm going to go ahead and produce that. So I'm going to produce some more metal and some more wood. I have to pay 1 combat power, and I'm not going to be able to do the enlist bonus. Oh, when this player built the mech, they should have gotten a coin. Okay, now this player is going to think that they're all confident. They're going to move in. So they're going to move both of these into here. That triggers the trap. They're going to lose 2 popularity. 1, 2. And that trap stays there. Now, we will go to combat for the first time. Okay, so you can spend only a maximum of 7 combat power. Your combat dials only go up to 7. So this character only has 4, so I can spend 4, and I can spend a combat card if I want to. I can only spend 1 because I have 1 character or mech there. So I'm going to spend not a lot. Then this character, they can use 2 combat cards because they have a mech and a character there. And they also have a lot more going for them over there. So what they know is the maximum card I can have is 5. And they know that they're the attacker. The attacker wins tiebreakers. So even if I have a 5, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would have 9. So I can use cards from my hand, a 2 and a 6, and then only have to spend 3 combat. Okay. So, now this player over here, I know I'm going to lose. So I'm going to spend 0 and 2. So this player is going to spend 3 of their actual combat power. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to spend none. The red player wins the combat, so they get a star. Then all of these get discarded, and since I lost the combat but used at least 1 card, I get a card as consolation. And then I have to retreat. Wah wah. And now this player gets to look at the factory cards and choose one. They have a whole lot of money, so maybe they want to do this one. That lets them pay 2 coins to get an upgrade and some popularity. Alright, now over here, now is when I say ha ha ha, and I'm quite happy because I'm going to move this character directly here. and rearm that trap. And I'm also going to go ahead, let's see. And I'm going to send a mech right here as well. And then I'm going to send this guy right here. Okay. And then I'm going to spend 3 wood to build a building. And I'm going to build it, let's see. Well, actually, I think because I'm going to be building, I'm going to move one of my workers here rather than move this guy there. And I'm going to be able to build on that space so that I'm between 2 lakes, which is going to help the endgame bonus. And I want now, I want my armory out there so that every time I take the trade action, I'm going to get some combat power. And that one does not trigger for him, and I get 2 coins. And now we move on to the combat. Now this player goes, uh-oh, because now they see, let's see, they're going to go ahead and they're going to go whole hog. They're going to use everything they got. And I am probably going to do likewise. Because I know if he's got a 5, that would put him up to 12, so I need to make sure I get at least 12, and that is the max that I could get. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. 12, and then this player has 11. Alright, so we both spent everything we had. I won the combat this time, both of these guys had to retreat, and now the purple player will get their first star. Alright. So we've seen traps from the invaders, we've seen from the Invaders from Afar expansion, we've seen objectives being completed. We haven't seen these getting to the top, but those are pretty self-explanatory. We've seen upgrades, we've seen mechs get out, we've seen buildings be built, enlistments. We've seen quite a bit, and I think at this point you've got a pretty good feel for the game. You're going to play until someone gets their 6th star out, or in this case, 5 stars, and then play 2 more rounds, and then the factory blows up. And then you're going to total up whoever has the most coins. You're going to get coins at the end of the game based off of your popularity, telling you how many coins you will get for the stars that you have gotten, territories you control, resources that you have. Then you'll get coins based off where your buildings are, and then whoever has the most coins is the winner. Alright, so that should give you a pretty good idea of how to set up and play through Scythe, Scythe Encounters, the Wind Gambit, Invaders from Afar, and overall how to play the game, overall flow and all that good stuff. If I missed anything in the rules, which I quite possibly probably did, let me know in the comments section below, and I'd love to kind of correct myself. And if you have any more questions about Scythe, let me know in the comment section as well, and then you can look in the description section for my unboxing of all the expansions except Rise of Fenris, as well as my overall thoughts on each expansion in the links in the comments, in the description section. You'll also find a link there to macronovagames.com where you can buy Scythe, all the expansions, and a whole bunch of other great stuff. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like what you see, and have a wonderful day.